There's a pair of earbuds that keep cropping up every time I make a video about another pair of earbuds, so I thought I'd check them out. This happens quite a lot on this channel where I review something and then people come into the comments and say, "Thank you, but can you please review this instead?" And whenever I review a pair of earbuds, the Jabra Elite 10 pop up in the comments. You get the idea. People want me to review these, which is exactly what I'm doing today. All-day comfort, spatial sound with Dolby Atmos, 2 times stronger noise cancellation than they've achieved before, Bluetooth multi-point connection, and up to 27 hours of battery life. So I can see why you want me to review them, but just before I do that, although this video isn't sponsored, I do have some fantastic brand partners who help me make these free videos. One of those is Brain FM. I won't ramble on about it, but if you've been struggling with productivity, if you do a lot of writing, a lot of intense work, or you work somewhere where noise bothers you and you can't get focused, Brain FM will help. It's basically an app that pumps music into your ears that makes you more productive, and I know that sounds like rubbish, but you have to try it. And I've worked with Brain FM to get a very tasty discount, so click that link below. And now let's get into the Elite 10. Okay, let's talk specs and pricing, and the Jabra Elite 10 are pretty much the same price as the AirPods Pro 2. They're just under 230 quid in the UK, which means I'll reference the AirPods Pro 2 quite a bit in this review, because they're the obvious point of comparison. But in terms of the spec sheet, we get 10mm drivers that can play back AAC and SBC codecs. There's Dolby Atmos with Dolby head tracking, there's Bluetooth 5.3 with multi-point connectivity and fast pairing for Android. There's 6 mics for noise cancellation and calls, there's 4 ear gel sizes, 6 hours of playback with ANC turned on, and 27 hours in total if you factor in the charging case, and a 5-minute charge provides 1 hour of playback. There's also wireless charging, IP57 water resistance for the buds and IP54 water resistance for the case, and 5 colours to choose from, including cream, which is the one that Jabra sent me. Okay, starting with comfort and convenience, the Jabra Elite 10 use something called Comfort Fit technology, and it seems to do a very good job because they are very comfortable earbuds. Now, my preference is normally a stem design where you have a little stem coming off the bottom like the AirPods Pro 2. These don't have that, so these just go straight into your ears and sit within your ears, but they are incredibly comfortable, and unlike a lot of stem design buds that I don't particularly like, to be completely honest, these are great. And by that I mean you can slot them in very easily and they stay in. Look, they stay in. And finding your fit shouldn't be particularly difficult because you do get 4 of these ear gel tip things, so that's all very good. The other thing that is absolutely fantastic about these is that there are no touch controls. Touch controls, unless they're right, unless they are very smartly manufactured, are incredibly annoying. But the Elite 10 don't have touch controls at all. They just have these buttons that are built into the earbud, which are nice and clicky. You don't press them by mistake when you're putting it into your ear. That's another really annoying thing with certain stemless earbuds. So in terms of comfort and convenience when it comes to just wearing them and using them, they're very, very good. They also feel very tough, which is a common theme with Jabra gear. It just feels like you could throw it around a bit and not worry too much. If you know me by now, you know that I'm absolutely obsessed, boringly so, with headphone cases, and the good news is that the Elite 10 will shut me up because they get it right. It's a smidgen bigger than the AirPods Pro 2 case, but that doesn't matter. It charges wirelessly, it's USB-C, and it's small enough to put into your pocket. Happy days. There's 2 more things to mention when it comes to convenience. When you put these into your ears, they start playing music. When you take them out, they pause. Trust me, that matters. The second thing is that they have multi-point Bluetooth connectivity, which means you can connect these to 2 different devices at once and switch between those devices without going into the settings for your Bluetooth like some kind of Neanderthal caveman. But all you care about is how these things sound. Straight out of the box, the Jabra Elite 10 sound very, very bright. And my first test track for this sort of stuff is always Peter Gabriel Sledgehammer. Actually, that brightness really added to the experience. It sounded incredibly alive, which that track should. It's my litmus test for earbuds and headphones. As soon as I put them on, or put them in, and play Peter Gabriel, and it sounds boring, I just switch off. So they passed that test straight away, but that brightness might be a little bit too much for certain people. The good news is you can go into the Jabra app, which is very easy to use, and you can change that EQ yourself. So there are some presets you can choose from, but I'd recommend having a play around with that equalizer. I boosted the bottom end a little bit, I brought down the mids just a little bit, and I reduced the top end, which for me was just a little bit too much. And once I did that, they sounded superb. The bass goes nice and low, and it's nice and controlled. It's a lovely wide soundstage, there's loads of detail, the bottom end is nice and big without being too boomy or too much. The mid-range is nice and present without being, again, too much, and it's very engaging. And the top end, like I say, if you bring that down just a little bit, which I'd recommend doing, the entire soundscape of the Elite 10 is very impressive. And the best way to describe the sound of the Elite 10 is that it's very big, very loud, and very, very exciting without being too much or too uncomfortable, and that is a very hard thing to achieve with headphones and earbuds. And yes, that does suit certain types of music, so electronic, EDM as they call it these days, the kids, rock in particular. I've got a headphone killer test track in that genre-ish, which is called Breathe Again by Pop Evil. Please go and check it out, and that really does point out very quickly how bad a pair of headphones or earbuds are. If it sounds terrible, generally speaking, those headphones are terrible as well. These absolutely nailed that song. But they can cope with the softer stuff as well. So listening to Adele's Easy on Me on these is very satisfying. That mid-range makes her vocal nice and creamy as it should be, and the top end sparkle is there just to lift things up a little bit. And that bottom end, because it's not too booming, it's not too in your face, really deals well with that gentle kick drum that kind of goes through the entire track. When it comes to head tracking and Dolby Atmos, these are the first Jabra earbuds to have that technology, and if you're not familiar with it, Dolby Atmos is basically a form of audio mixing where audio comes at you from all angles, so it's not just left and right, it's above you, it's in front of you, and it creates this very immersive soundstage. And because earbuds like the Elite 10 only have two drivers, left and right, they use lots of clever algorithms and software to make it sound like things are coming at you from all angles, and it works very well. I'm not a fan of it for music still. I still don't quite get it for music personally, but if you're using these to watch movies or TV shows that are mixed in Dolby Atmos or just surround sound, they sound great. And the head tracking thing is very impressive as well, and that is when you move your head and that sound stage follows you. So if you're walking around listening to a Dolby Atmos mixed piece of music, you keep that sound stage no matter where you're facing. It's very fast, it's very impressive, and it's pretty much just as good as AirPods Pro 2. Okay, the good news is we can keep the noise cancellation part of this review fairly short because it's really good. And the best way to describe the noise cancellation performance of the Elite 10 is that it is just as good as the AirPods Pro 2. And that is a big accolade. It's not as good as the Bose Quiet Comfort Ultra earbuds, but then nothing is, and they are very expensive. With the Elite 10, the world goes very quiet, as it should. There's no hiss or very, very little hiss, and there's no horrible oppressive feeling that you sometimes get with noise-cancelling earbuds. The only slight disappointment is the pass-through mode, and this is when you let the outside world in so you can be aware of your surroundings and hear yourself while you're taking telephone calls. On the AirPods Pro 2, it's called transparency mode, and nothing beats it. Apple are industry leaders with that on earbuds. Jabra, it's not far off, and you can hear stuff, don't get me wrong, it's not as though you can't hear things around you. They're just a bit muffled, and when you speak, it feels like you've got earbuds in, which is not the case with the AirPods Pro 2. But it still does a job, and in terms of calling, they are fine. Although I've never had a problem with taking telephone calls on pretty much any earbuds I've tested. I know it's a big thing for people. I use the AirPods Pro 2 all the time for this, but these work just as well. I can hear the person, they can hear me. Happy days. Okay, in terms of a conclusion about the Elite 10, I thought I'd turn to Jabra's website because they give us 8 reasons we should fall in love with these earbuds. So let's tick them off. Firstly, they have Jabra Comfort Fit technology. Well, yep, they do, and they are very comfortable. They have 10mm speakers with Dolby head tracking. They do indeed, and the Dolby head tracking, first of all, works very well. It works as intended, and those 10mm speaker drivers sound fantastic. So, thumbs up. They have Jabra's advanced ANC. They do indeed, and as I mentioned a moment ago, they are as good at noise cancelling as these. They have 6 mic call technology. They do indeed, and it works absolutely fine. So again, thumbs up. They have real buttons. 2 thumbs up. They have wireless and USB-C charging, which in terms of convenience is a huge thumbs up. They have Bluetooth multi-point connectivity. The Bose Quiet Comfort Ultra don't. I made that mistake in my review. I did correct it afterwards, but I thought they did. They don't. They're much more expensive, so 2 thumbs up. And finally, they stay fully secure in the case. Well, yes, but let's try this. I don't know if that's what they meant. Do I give them a thumbs down for that? That's a bit harsh. Who does that? Joking aside, the point I'm making about the Elite 10 is that unlike a lot of earbuds on the market, they do everything they say they should do very well. That's quite a rarity, and it just means that if you've got AirPods Pro 2 budget and you're not too fussed about the whole Apple ecosystem stuff, or you're an Android user, then get these. I am very impressed with the Elite 10, so well done Jabra. Thank you for sending me these, and I won't ignore them. I wasn't ignoring them before, I just overlooked them, I'm sorry. However, if you've got a much bigger budget and you're very tempted by those Bose Quiet Comfort Ultras, keep watching for a link to my full review.